Hey there, I am at Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming, and I am at the historic and wonderful Lake Yellowstone Hotel. And this day I'm going to be checking this place out, and also I'm going to be going on a sunset cruise at Yellowstone Lake. The magnificent building is right along the shore of Yellowstone Lake. It was built in 1891, making it the oldest operating hotel in the park. Almost all of these old national park lodges were built in the rustic style, such as the Old Faithful Inn here at Yellowstone, but this one is very different. It's a fairly simplistic colonial revival style building with 3 ionic porticos on the front. The building was built by the Northern Pacific Railway, which built the other hotels around the park at the time. The porticos and the expansion of the building was designed by Robert Reamer, the same guy who designed Old Faithful Inn. It does have a beautiful view of Yellowstone Lake. The building was recently declared a National Historic Landmark. This is the lobby that has been serving Yellowstone visitors for over 100 years. There's some neat tile work and designs on this fireplace. It also has a really cool old water fountain. Here's a little historical display. There's an old key to a room. That's an original porthole of the steamboat E.C. Waters, which I'll explain more about when we go out to see the Shipwreck. And here's some vintage souvenirs from Yellowstone. They also still have a very old school but fancy telephone booth. See, this is the back side of it. It's quite a large building. And I'm actually staying behind the hotel at one of the cottages. The area is fantastic for wildlife viewing because, as you can see, there's wildlife running around the property. There's a bison walking right next to the cottages. Also nearby is the Lake Lodge. It's not as historic or fancy as the hotel, but it's still nice. Now I'm standing on the porch of the lodge, and there's a freaking bison a few yards away. And I will say, people get scary close to these animals. Even I'm kinda stupid and wanna get up close for my pictures, but still, some people a little too close. This is the Bridge Bay Marina, where I'm going to be taking a scenic cruise on Lake Yellowstone this evening. Yellowstone Lake is a ginormous body of water, covering 132 square miles. Its greatest depth is 394 feet, though the average is about 139 feet. It is the largest freshwater lake above 7,000 feet in North America. That's what the lake hotel looks like from the lake. In the early days when people were arriving on EC Waters' steamer, this was the first view they got of the place. There is a small island out here named Dot Island, and it has an interesting history. It was purchased by a man named E.C. Waters, one of the earliest entrepreneurs in the park. He was successful with the Zilla, a passenger steamship that started in 1891 and transported visitors from places like West Thumb to the newly opened Lake Hotel. Even though his venture wasn't part of the park or the Northern Pacific Railway, he did maintain a monopoly. Then he decided to expand the business by purchasing Dot Island from the government and then opening a zoo on it. He shipped over local wildlife like bison over to the island, and then his steamship started stopping there. He was a very dislikable man due to his greed and temperament, and the animals at Dot Island were treated horrifically. So when the park was overwhelmed by complaints, they tried to lure in another steamship rival, but that was unsuccessful. They just couldn't get rid of E.C. Waters. And here is the Shipwreck of the E.C. Waters, the second vessel, which was significantly larger, that Waters bought in 1905, and he humbly named it after himself. The park decided to refuse to license it as a commercial ferry, so that required that Waters had to hire a man to watch the ship during the winter here at Stevenson's Island. Then that guy died here, Waters wasn't able to get it back, and it's been rotting away here ever since. In 1907, Waters got banned from the park. The shipwreck was then looted by souvenir hunters over the years. Then it was used as an overhang for a fish fry business. In the 60s, rangers tried to preserve it by dousing kerosene on it, which turned it all black. But now the ribs are still here and it is preserved. Now I'm going to enjoy an evening at the Lake Hotel. I did eat at the fancy schmancy dining room here, and it was really good. Please check out my other Yellowstone National Park videos, and thanks for watching.